course. I wanted to chat with you just briefly today about the old death, you know.
We have to deal with an individual situation before we could heal the global. So healing oneself is really the most basics. It's the important factor in healing globally because we can't go global if we don't heal our own self. So it really it's more taking a deeper look on your own agenda and your own
Is it
life.
possible for a person to really not have had a past life? Have you ever run into anybody who just didn't have one? This was their first time?
No, but I was thinking about how to approach an answer to that. To answer to the no, I haven't. If it was your first time here, you'll be in either two ways. One is what we would call a baby soul, which is like really groping with what's going on here, so it wouldn't even be interested. Or they are an evolved soul that has come to take a look around, and they wouldn't be interested. So
out of the blue, meaning when you have experiences that just seemingly come out of the blue, that's a way of getting confirmation on things. And I was doing feng shui, I told you, to my house, and like out of the blue, I got a new client, or out of the blue, I met some new people, or out of the blue. So starting OOBs, your out of the blue experiences. That's another way of saying, like, that was an OOB when you were being told, don't go on that day, go next week or go another day. So those things that seemingly have no reference or no realization or connection to what's going on in your life are those out of the blue experiences. And in the reality, that's where you're receiving insight, you're receiving information, you're receiving your intuition.
Chatting about it, and I thought, yeah, you know what? I'm curious too about what all the different people's points of view on it. Wave. I personally feel much lighter, but I don't know if that's just where I'm at.
It depends on who you are, what you've been doing when it comes to your spiritual path, how much of your heavy stuff you've cleared. It makes a difference on different people. But definitely this year, when I do my yearly meditation, World Peace Meditation, which happened on December 28th, this was something that the masters had said, that this year was a year of great deepening and accessing parts of ourselves that have been very much hidden from us because we just weren't ready to deal with them. And on this planet, coming into this, the 2 weeks of the equinox the 2 weeks of the solar eclipse and then the lunar eclipse and the equinox on top of that, the masters did say this coming 2 weeks are going to be very, very powerful and potent for everyone on the planet. But depending on who you are and what you do with your life, for some people it's going to be extremely potent and powerful, and for some people it's going to be like a little blip on their screen, depending on where we're at. It's got to do with our awareness, and it's got to do with our consciousness as well. So everyone's going to be affected. Right. Everyone is going to receive, I like to call them pulses of energy or pulses of light that come into our universe. And those pulses, as they come to us, we are made up of electromagnetic energy. So that energetic field, that pulse, when it comes to us, depending on how clear we are, will depend on how aware we are of what we're receiving.
Would you like to just give people a little bit of a quick what you do? I know you came to your gifts as a child, but if you could maybe just, I've introduced you as an energy intuitive, but do you see things? Do you have the clairs? Where do you fit into the slot of energy people?
Yeah. My particular way that I get it, it's like a zhuzh, it's like a download of information, I guess. Download of information or download of knowing. So I guess my particular skills are more written and verbal. I do see things visually, in that, but mainly when I say visually, they give me a lot of analogies, and I think that is just the way that I can best explain things to people. So you'll see a lot of analogies going on in my work, and people tend to like that also, which is great. And I guess in a nutshell, ever since I was a little girl, I always felt that I was, put on this planet from somewhere else. I never felt quite at home here. I used to look at people and just feel something wasn't quite right. And that's where I did have visuals of a world that looked very, very different to that world that I grew up in. I used to see the people going off to work in their suits and hating their lives, and just that very, 9 to 5 treadmill. And whereas I saw literally, people who were happy, people who did work that was an extension of their natural persona, be that something creative, be that something spiritual, be that something environmental. I saw people caring for the planet. I saw homes that were, sustainable and were an extension of the earth. And for a long time, I didn't know what that meant. Does that mean I was getting visions of where that I'd come from? Was that just my imagination? Was that something that I knew I was here to be a part of, to create?
Right.
And it was more as I got a bit older, around the 19 mark was a very pivotal point to me. I read the Celestine Prophecy, and I remember very clearly, so that was going on 23 years ago now, reading that, and that was my first moment of, someone thinks like I do. And, just those moments. And then especially when the internet came along, within sort of a few years of that, and I started reading things that matched what I knew to be true. So how I've always worked, Catherine, and I still do to this day, they give me the information, and then later it gets verified or validated by something or someone. So, for example, a lot of the information that was circulating about the Mayans and the Mayan calendar, I received that information for many years, and it was only later when I read it, and then later was fortunate enough to meet Mayan elders, that it was like a validation, confirmation, verification. Yes, what you are receiving is true.
And so
we deal with things in layers. I don't think we ever, I don't know, I haven't found too many issues in my life that have completely gone away. At some point or other, I cycle back through them and, look at them from a different viewpoint, have a little different dance with them. It's life. We have a certain number of archetypes to deal with, a certain number of issues, situations, focuses that we have planned to take care of in this lifetime. All of them for each of us different, but, the themes are there, the archetypes are there for all of us. And I think right now, this last go-round with Mercury, this has been really, really intensified because we have Aquarius, Uranus, the planet that represents Aquarius, has been retrograde for a longer period, of course, because it's a further out planet. And that is akin to Mercury. It's like the granddaddy of Mercury. Mm-hmm. And so it just quadruples the effect of it. So you really go deep. We're really going deep, deep, deep into the roots, into the karma, into the genetics, past the conscious mind, deep into the unconscious. So it's a very, very powerful experience, but it's not necessarily one we can put words to. Deep into the mystery. And that, of course, is really intensified because this Scorpio is in, for the most part, I'm the Scorpio. This Mercury is retrograde in Scorpio for the most part. Mm. So Scorpio takes us deep into the unconscious automatically this time of the year.
But if we look at these as opportunities, like when this is happening, like what we just went through, it's not something happening to us. It's it supports us in, because house cleaning is something we all need to do. If you want to live in a healthy environment, you got to do your house cleaning. So it seems
that's right.
That's
repairing the car. That's something you've got to do. Make sure your computer is cleaned out, updated. Free of viruses. Those are things we need to do. So the perfect time is when Mercury goes retrograde.
And of course, lgrcc.com. Till next time, take care.
We are creating an exquisite world. Until next time, take care. care.